was they removed the dead heart and replaced it with a new one. But what happened is a few months later, he went back to his old habits. He went back to bad food, no exercise, and ignoring every instruction. So what the doctors told him is they said, the new heart works, but the old lifestyle will still kill you. See, God already has given us a new heart. And in Ezekiel, it said, I will remove your heart of stone and give you a heart of flesh. But if we keep feeding our flesh, ignoring conviction, and returning to the very things that God told us not to return to, we keep returning to the very things that caused death in the first place. We're treating the miracle like a moment. God didn't just say, I will give you a new heart to make you feel better. God gave you a new heart so that you can live different. So we're always wondering why we're always going back and forth between our old life and our new life. Why we can't make the decision to just stick with this walk and walk it out in faith. There's something that is always pulling us back. What is that? What is pulling us back? What's pulling us back is sin, right? Sin, we are all under the power of sin. Why are we under the power of sin? Well, that's a good question. And it goes back into the beginning of time. So before Christ, every person was a slave to sin. That means every person, whether it was me, you, your mother, your father, the whole state of humanity was under the fallen condition of sin before we gave our life to Christ. And when Adam and Eve chose disobedience, we all know that Adam and Eve, they were in the garden, they gave heed to seducing spirits, and God told them, do not eat of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And they chose to disobey God, and they were cast out of God's presence. So what happens when we're cast out of God's presence? What happens is we're separated from him. What does separation bring? Separation brings death. It brings spiritual death and also physical death. Through our sin, sin separates us from God. And we all know one sin leads to death, just one. And ever since, creation has lived under the weight of brokenness. So it's very evident in life, you can see it today, that the whole state of humanity is broken, right? We have broken families, our homes are torn apart, our cousins are not talking to our sister's not talking to the father's not talking to the son. And now we're going around and we're broken. We have a spirit of unforgiveness. There's people right now that they have family members that they don't speak anymore. The silence turns into numbness, and now nobody is conversing with each other. The love is gone, right? We have people that are addicted, the spirit of addiction. We have people that are addicted to their phones, constantly scrolling, constantly being distracted, never nourishing the walk and the call that God gave them because they're so distracted with what externally the world has going on, right? And then not only are we addicted to phones, but we're addicted to the alcohol, pills, bottles. We're always looking for a way to escape. And next, we're addicted to pride, right? There's something in all of us, or there's something that used to be in all of us. Hopefully it changed, but there's something in us that has the pride in us refuses to be corrected. We believe that we can live this life without God. We believe that if we grind enough, if we work hard enough, nobody can tell us anything. We're going to get there. But does it ever happen? Pride will fool us so long to the point where we think that we have enough time to get it right, to do it ourselves. But the truth is, we'll always be redirected back to the Father. Pride is a silent killer. And next we have confusion, right? We live in a generation right now And this is unprecedented. Like, this is something that is so new, but we live in a generation that no longer knows who they are, right? They no longer know what the truth is. There's people right now that are struggling with gender identity. They don't know if they're a boy, they don't know if they're a girl, it, they, them. They don't know who they are, right? And after all of these things, after all the confusion, the pride, the addiction, the brokenness, after all the striving, we still come up empty. Why? Because we are not turning to the Father. Every time we chase meaning without God, we end up just a shell of a person.